cobbler, but when you have a top and bottom crust, it's actually a peach pie. So that's what I'm going to make today. What I have here, I have one of the large cans of sliced peaches from Sam's. I have a stick and a half of butter, and I have a cup and a half of sugar. To this, I'm going to add nutmeg and cinnamon and a little vanilla, and we're going to let this cook down, and I'm going to thicken it with a cornstarch. And then I'm going to make a homemade crust. So here's the filling for the peach pie. Okay, so now we're going to prepare the perfect pie crust by Anna Garden. I'm going to actually list the link to Food Network to get this recipe. I also have another recipe I use where you use egg and vinegar. I don't have vinegar, otherwise I would have used that one, because that's a very crunchy, that's a very flaky pie crust as well. But for this one, you use a stick and a half of cold butter, unsalted, 3 cups of all-purpose flour, a teaspoon of kosher salt, a tablespoon of sugar, a 1/3 cup of very cold vegetable shortening. I have mine in the freezer, my refrigerator freezer, and 6 to 8 tablespoons of water. So this is the recipe here. And like I said, I'll link it for you. If you borrow somebody else's recipe, this one is actually copyrighted, but even if I use someone else's recipe, I give that person credit, because guess what? It's not yours. We have 3 cups of all-purpose flour. To that, we're going to add the teaspoon of kosher salt, I just wasted about my stick and a half of butter. I like to get these Land O'Lakes, each one of the halves individually wrapped. I like to use these for when I'm baking, especially when I need a half or something. No big deal, but that's just what I like. So I don't have a food processor. What I'm going to use is actually a shredder to do my butter. Like I said, there's no perpetrating here. I need a food processor. I also need a stand KitchenAid mixer. So those are things that I'm going to get. But in the meantime, I'm going to improvise and use what I have. So I'm going to come back. You don't want to see me do this, but I'm just going to add this very cold butter, and then the shortening. And then after you mix this with the cold, very cold water, you put it in the refrigerator for 30 minutes. So I'll be back to show you what it looks like when I'm finished with it. Okay, here's the peach pie. What I did, I used some of the liquor from out for the peaches, and I put that on there with the butter, but it kind of made it get too dark. But anyway, this is what it looks like. I'll show you when I cut up these. So here, what I did is I shredded up all of my butter. Now, I like to read comments and get the reviews. I only search for the recipes that have high ratings, like close to 5 stars. But anyway, on this, I read, and some people said what you need to do is mix your butter. It says mix the shortening and the butter, but the reviews say mix your butter first, then add your shortening. That makes it more flaky. And I think I may have tried it before, and it did make it more flaky. I've used this recipe before. Now, if you're planning to cater an event, you having a reunion, and you want to make the steam table pan full of this, we catered an event for a sorority, and I made, it was either 3 or 4 pans of peach cobbler. So if you're going to do that quantity, what you need to do is you use the number 10 can of peaches, and also use a 29-ounce can. I only buy Del Monte or Libby, or it's another brand I found that was okay. But the rest of it, the peaches have a tendency to cook too much, and then once you actually bake it, the peaches don't have a flavor to them at all. I mean, it may sound crazy, but it's the truth, and it's trial and error. So I've added the butter already. But anyway, I'm sorry. If you're going to do a steam table pan, you're going to use a number 10 can. That's one of those big cans you get from Sam's for like $6 and something. They used to be 4 or something, went up to 5, now they're 6 something. But it's that number 10 can, and you're also going to add a 29-ounce can to it. You're going to double this recipe. If you're going to make a steam table, large steam table size. You need to double this recipe. Remember, I don't have a food processor, and I actually made 3 or 4 pans. I can't even remember. I think it was 3, because I think I had bought 4 cans of peaches, and then when I started making it, I realized that when you use that steam table pan, it's twice the size of a 9 by 13, or maybe a little bit over that. But anyway, if you only use the number 10 can, your peach cobbler is very, very thin. Actually though, people say cobbler, but by this having a bottom and a top crust, it's actually a peach pie. It's not in a pie shell, but it's actually a pie, because the cobbler is what you actually bake. You know how you mix your milk and your butter and your sugar together and put the peaches in there like that? That's a cobbler. So this is actually a pie. It's just not in a pie shell. It's, you know, I'm going to make this in a 13 by 9 dish. So here I've added the butter. And now we're going to add the shortening and the water. And I'll come back and show you the consistency of it once I've completed all the liquids. So I have this one and this one. And this one is a little bit, well, a lot bigger than that one, because this is going to go in the bottom of the 13 by 9 pan. This is going to actually go on the top. I'll probably end up using a little bit more off of here, but that's how I do mine because of how I'm fixing it. So 30 minutes, these go in the refrigerator. Okay, here's the peach pie. What I did, I used some of the liquor from out for the peaches, and I put that on there with the butter, but it kind of made it get too dark. But anyway, this is what it looks like. I'll show you when I cut a piece.